The press conference started calmly enough. Collin Morikawa, fresh off his Pebble Beach victory, sat behind the microphone talking about putters, about form, about the long road back to winning ways. Then, someone asked about Anthony Kim, about his miraculous LIV Adelaide victory, about the redemption story that captured the golf world's imagination. And something shifted in Morikawa's expression. The smile faded. The polite answers stopped. What came next wasn't the respectful praise everyone expected. It was a challenge, a direct, unfiltered call-out to a man who just accomplished something Morikawa himself has spent 2 years chasing. And by the time Morikawa finished speaking, the golf world had a new rivalry it never saw coming. Subscribe for the full story of the explosive interview that has everyone talking. Collin Morikawa arrived at the Genesis Invitational riding higher than he had in years. Just days earlier, he'd captured his first PGA Tour victory since 2023, outlasting Scottie Scheffler and Min-Woo Lee at Pebble Beach in a dramatic final round finish. The win was worth $3.6 million, and more importantly, silenced critics who'd wondered if the two-time major champion would ever find his way back to the winner's circle. The press conference should have been a victory lap. Questions about his putter switch, about his mindset, about the road ahead. Instead, a reporter veered in an unexpected direction. Collin, Anthony Kim's victory at LIV Adelaide has been called the greatest comeback in golf history. Given your own journey back to winning ways, what did you think when you saw him lift that trophy? Morikawa paused. The room leaned forward. Look, what Anthony did was impressive, Morikawa began carefully. Coming back from everything he's been through, the addiction, the years away, that takes something special. I'm not going to take that away from him. But then his tone shifted. Here's the thing, though. We're in two completely different worlds right now. I'm grinding on the PGA Tour, playing against the deepest fields in golf, trying to win against guys like Scottie Scheffler and Rory McIlroy every single week. Anthony's out there playing 54-hole events with music blasting and teams that didn't exist 3 years ago. The room went quiet. Reporters exchanged glances. I respect his journey, I really do, but let's not pretend that what he did in Adelaide compares to what it takes to win out here. The depth, the pressure, the history, it's not the same. And I think deep down, Anthony knows that too.
To understand why Morikawa's words landed with such force, you have to understand the moment each man was having. For Anthony Kim, the LIV Adelaide victory was nothing short of miraculous. 12 years after walking away from golf, battling addiction so severe he considered it a miracle he was still alive, Kim shot a bogey-free 63 to beat Jon Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau by 3 shots. It was his first victory since 2010, earned the hard way after years of personal and professional hurdles. I'm too old to be reacting like that because I think I pulled something in my hip, the 40-year-old Kim joked afterward. But then his voice turned serious. Every putt that went in, I felt the struggle and I was overcoming it. It was therapeutic out there to fight through it and come out on top. His daughter, Bella, raced onto the 18th green into his arms. His wife, Emily, watched from the crowd, tears streaming. Lucas Herbert said simply, "I cried." Mark Leishman added, "It's an unbelievable story, the place he got to and how close he was to not being here. I'm not talking about in Adelaide, I'm talking about not being on this planet." The golf world wrapped its arms around Kim's redemption arc. Even Tiger Woods, asked about it at the Genesis, grew emotional. You just have to wrap your heart around it because of the struggles. For Morikawa, the moment was different. He'd just ended a 28-month drought, a victory that felt like validation after a period of frustration where he admitted to feeling like he was putting in my absolute everything, only to finish 30th or miss cuts. He'd stolen a putter from Kurt Kitayama, made a mindset switch, and finally climbed back to the top. 2 comeback stories, 2 different tours, 2 very different perspectives colliding in a single press conference.
Here's where Morikawa's comments get complicated. He wasn't just dismissing Kim's achievement, he was reopening the deepest wound in professional golf. "I'm not taking anything away from him, but you have to look at the fields," Morikawa continued. "At Pebble Beach, I had Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, the best players in the world, week after week. LIV has some great players too, don't get me wrong. Jon Rahm and Bryson are as good as anyone. But the depth, the weekend pressure, it's different. The distinction matters. LIV's fields are smaller, the atmosphere more relaxed, the cuts non-existent. Kim's victory came against 53 other players. Morikawa's came against a full field of the world's elite." But Kim's supporters were quick to push back. Social media lit up with reminders that Kim had beaten Rahm and DeChambeau head-to-head in the final group, shooting 63 while they stumbled. He didn't just win, he boat-raced two of the top 5 players in the world. What more do you want? Others pointed out the irony. Morikawa had just ended his own drought against a field that included Scheffler, who has 14 wins since 2023, including 3 majors. But Kim's victory came against the same Rahm who won the 2023 Masters and the 2025 Open Championship. The debate exposed the fault line that never fully healed: PGA loyalists versus LIV believers, traditionalists versus disruptors, and now 2 of the most compelling stories of 2026 were caught in the middle. Within hours of Morikawa's comments spreading online, reactions poured in from every corner of the golf world. From LIV's side, the response was pointed. Bryson DeChambeau, who finished 3rd in Adelaide, tweeted a simple "eyes" with no further comment. Jon Rahm, when asked at a pre-tournament press conference, offered a diplomatic but pointed response. "I think everyone's entitled to their opinion. I also think everyone who watched Adelaide knows what they saw." Kim himself stayed silent initially. Those close to him said he was focused on preparing for LIV Hong Kong, the next stop on the league's schedule. But a source told GOLF SWINGX that Kim was disappointed by Morikawa's comments. "He's been through hell and back," the source said. 12 years lost to addiction, suicidal thoughts, a daughter who'd never seen him win. Then he goes out and beats 2 of the best players in the world, and someone wants to diminish that? It hurts. From the PGA Tour side, reactions were mixed. Some players privately agreed with Morikawa's assessment but wouldn't say so publicly. Others felt he'd crossed a line. Rory McIlroy, asked about the controversy, tried to play peacemaker. "I think both guys have incredible stories. Collin's win at Pebble was huge for him. Anthony's win in Adelaide was maybe the most emotional moment in golf this year. Can't we just appreciate both?" But the damage was done. A rivalry had been born not between players on the same tour, but between 2 men representing the sport's divided soul. So where does this leave us? 2 comeback stories, 2 tours, 2 very different perspectives on what constitutes greatness in modern golf. For Anthony Kim, the journey is deeply personal. He's spoken openly about his struggles, about the dark demons he battled, about finding purpose through his wife and daughter. His victory wasn't just about golf, it was about survival. "Nothing's holding me back," he said after Adelaide. "I just have to keep working 1% better every day. That mindset is something I'm going to carry with me to the day I die." For Collin Morikawa, the comeback was about professional validation, about proving he still belonged in the conversation with Scheffler and McIlroy, about silencing the doubters who wondered if his early success was a fluke. Their clash reveals something deeper about the state of golf. The Civil War isn't just about money or tours or Greg Norman's latest comments. It's about meaning, about what counts, about which victories will be remembered and which will fade. Morikawa's dismissal of Kim's achievement may have been honest, it may have been strategic, it may have been frustration boiling over, but it exposed a truth that everyone in golf knows but rarely says out loud. The sport is fractured, and the fractures run deeper than anyone wants to admit. Anthony Kim will tee it up in Hong Kong this week, riding the highest high of his remarkable comeback. Collin Morikawa will prepare for Bay Hill, then Sawgrass, then Augusta, chasing another major. They may never share a fairway. They may never settle this debate head-to-head, but their collision in the court of public opinion has already changed how fans view both of them. Kim is no longer just a redemption story. He's a symbol of LIV's legitimacy, proof that the league can produce moments that matter. Morikawa is no longer just a two-time major champion. He's the defender of the old guard, the voice of a tour fighting to maintain its relevance. The golf world is watching, and both men just raised the stakes. For more coverage of the biggest stories in golf, subscribe and hit the notification bell.